From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Computer running slow?
I'm waiting.
Caught a virus?
Well,
Does your computer seem to have a life of its own?
Malfunction. Need input.
The computer guru is here.
Thank God you're here!
Call in now.
Now it's Mike Swanson, your computer guru.
Hello and welcome to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. 790-2040 if you'd like to be part of the show. We would love to hear from you. 520-790-2040. Hello, Tara.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Yeah. It's another work day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just another one of those. You know, the upside is I don't have any more smashed windows, which is good. Yeah, and was it Wednesday, I think?
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Yeah, so Wednesday morning at like 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody decided to smash in the windows at Fort Lowell and break in.
Anti-Trump protesters? Or
I don't think
random acts of violence?
I don't think it was related to politics.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah. I mean, the guy didn't look like he could be a voter, right?
Got him on tape?
Yeah.
Excellent.
But mask and gloves and all that stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a video on the Facebook page and on YouTube if you want to check it out.
I do.
My kids actually saw the video, and my daughter's like, why would somebody steal a computer? Why don't they just ask their mom or Santa?
Nice.
I'm
Well,
like,
that guy should have asked Santa.
Yeah.
And the truth is if you're that hard up for a computer, just come in and ask me.
Well, he's definitely on the naughty list now.
Don't you know that we give away computers to needy people every year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, every year we accept your donations. You know, if you have an older computer you want to get rid of, or you determine that you're just way too affluent and have to get rid of a computer, then you can bring them down to Computer Guru. We'll fix them up, give them away. Hopefully somebody won't steal them, but that would be great. But yeah, we give away computers every year this time of year. In fact, all year we give them away. But the push seems to be this year because people seem to be a little more generous, but somewhere between, Halloween and Christmas. So if you're interested in donating a computer to us for us to give away, that's great. You can also nominate someone. If you know somebody that's needy, you can call us up and tell us, hey, this is the person we think that you should give a computer to. Then we'll rehab a machine, make sure it works properly, and make sure that they have one. Because kids need computers these days just to attend school.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so if you know anybody, let us know. We'll definitely make sure we can get them taken care of.
And how can they nominate somebody?
Well, I don't think Rob's done with the nomination page yet.
Okay, so
But
in the meantime,
just call into the shop, or you can send an email to radio@azcomputerguru.com. You can say this is, just name somebody, give us a way to get in contact with them to actually give them the computer. So we had some really great stories last year where people were like, oh yeah, this is the person and here's their story and we think you should give them the computer. And I would say like, okay, how do I get a hold of these people?
yeah,
And
it's kind of pertinent information.
so I was just like, oh, well, hopefully they get in touch with me because there's a computer here for them. Anyway, if like I said, if you know anybody who could use a computer, please nominate them. If you have an extra one that you can give away, then bring it on down. We make sure that all of your personal information is removed, that the machines are clean, that all the hardware is good, because we don't want to give them a machine that's going to fail on them in 6 months.
Right.
So if you know anybody that needs the help, send them along. And share the information with your friends. Let people know that we're doing this so that we can help more people.
It's a good system.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's see here. What are we going to start with?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on.
A little bit later in the show, we're going to talk about some Black Friday deals. And Cyber Monday, I imagine, is going to be on the list as well. So if you are interested in being trampled at some type of store, or maybe you can just send somebody else to be trampled. That's what I do.
Some people enjoy the trampling.
Yeah, I
Just
guess.
do. It's not my thing, but I know people who love it.
You know what I haven't had this Christmas season yet? Physical confrontation.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You need a good trampling.
Yeah, I need somebody to nearly kill me.
Yeah, especially with some of the deals I've been seeing. I'm sure there's going to be some trampling.
I don't even think it matters what the deals are. I think people just line up to nearly kill each other in a store. And last year we kind of talked about Black Friday and how I disagreed with the notion of Black Friday. I think that, okay, great, let's have some sales, but can we not just do them on one day? Could we just break this up for, I don't know, a couple of weeks maybe?
It's like America's version of running of the bulls. That's basically what it is.
It is.
Once a year tradition of just getting run over for no reason.
Well, and you think of all these poor people, right? They have to have their Thanksgiving evening, and many of them, right? You got these younger people that are working retail, where they have to go into work at like 11 p.m. to be prepared for Black Friday,
Yeah.
or even earlier, because a lot of places are opening at midnight now. And it's just like, stop that.
Now, there are quite a few stores who have decided, no, we're not going to be open Thanksgiving, and we're not opening until the morning of Black Friday as opposed to midnight. And I think it's a good pushback because it's been earlier and earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah, it's like I saw Christmas stuff at the grocery store 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wait a minute. There has not been any turkey served yet. I
was triggered.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't think I think they should just do the Black Friday thing over a couple of weeks. Like, let's just here's our post-Thanksgiving sale. Mm-hmm. Gives you an opportunity to get in there, and it doesn't abuse the employees because that's rude.
Right.
Make it so that they either cannot properly, enjoy the Thanksgiving day, or makes it so they definitely can't enjoy the day after. And so no, don't do that. Yeah, it's not very nice, and somebody gets killed every year.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, oh yeah. This person was pressed up against the automatic doors at Walmart until they suffocated.
Are you willing to die for a $200 TV? That's really what it comes down to.
Maybe some people don't have anything else to live for.
I don't know.
That's it. My life insurance premiums are up to date. I'm going shopping.
Well, it is the open enrollment period, so.
That's crazy. So, Black Friday deals will be coming up here. Some of the other things that we're going to be talking about is ransomware. I had an interesting experience with some ransomware this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It involved things I never thought that I would do before. Like going and down to a Western Union and giving some cash for Bitcoins.
What?
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. And, I think that had the customer not opted to not do backups, because we offer them, and we're like, hey, you can do online backups, and they said, no, we'll just do the locals, they're fine. And of course the ransomware wiped out the local backups as well. Mm-hmm. And we ended up dropping some money on some Bitcoins just to get their data back.
Wow.
And now that I have fully experienced that process, I will tell you that it is unique. You feel awfully shady. I'm sure I'm on some sort of watch list now because, I had to go down and in 2 transactions give cash to Western Union to send to somewhere else to get Bitcoins, to then send the Bitcoins to India. And
India or Indio?
India.
Okay.
The country, not the city.
Okay.
And then hope that they sent us the decryptor to get the data back, because
that's scary.
What obligation do they really have, really, other than, well, we said we would?
Well, especially after they get the Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean,
like, meh.
They got paid. Yeah, what are they going to do? And so now I am crafting my basically log of events to the FBI, just to send that along to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. Maybe get me off of the watch list for sending Bitcoins somewhere.
You're only on it for the radio now.
Yeah. Well, this is analog, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to know this. Nobody's listening to this. So 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. Let's take a moment to mention our sponsors, which are Perfection Auto Works. You can go to perfectionautoworks.com. They do a lovely job of helping keep the show on the air. We wish that some other people would help us out here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Perfection Auto Works is doing all the heavy lifting here. It's really what it's coming
They
down to.
definitely are.
And, me.
Yes.
But if you can help us out, that would be great. You can go to patreon.com/Guru Show. Anyway, go down to Perfection Auto Works and get your 26-point inspection. Guess how much it costs? Nothing.
Free.
It's free. And, it's cooling off here. You need to get your vehicle straightened out. Make sure it's good to go. They're there to help you, and they do a fantastic job at doing it. We'll be right back.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
So join us in the chat if you're interested in typing your questions at us rather than speaking them. Otherwise, you can call us 790-2040. The chat is gurushow.com/chat. And we already got a question there asking if we're going to be open on Friday, Thursday and Friday. Thursday, no. Everybody gets Thanksgiving Day off. And in my effort to keep people from being injured on Black Friday shopping, they have to come to work. But at normal times. And it just like we were talking about the offer the sale for the week, that's what I'm going to do. So actually, it's going to be 2 weeks. It's going to be starting Monday. That if you want to go ahead and bring your computer in, we're going to do 40% off of regular labor for 2 weeks. And all you got to do is mention the special. You don't mention it, you get charged full price. That's how it works. So
That's how it works everywhere.
that's
so.
right. So if you want the deal, you either say that that you heard about the special on the radio, and you can help out. You can help other people save money. You know how you do that? You link them to the podcast. You tell people, hey, guess what? Guru's doing a whole bunch of sales. All you got to do is say that's the Thanksgiving sale. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Simple.
Save yourself some money.
You don't even have to clip a coupon.
No, I don't. No.
Does anyone really do that anymore?
Yes, people do that, and
they?
it just irritates me. I personally, I try as little as possible to handle paper. All right, it's just I don't like it. I don't like paper, so I'm just weird like that, I guess. That's probably not the only way that I'm weird.
Paperless.
I like as little paper as possible. So no coupons. Just all you gotta do is come in and say, hey, you know what? I'm here for the sale. The Thanksgiving sale. That's it.
I'm here for the thing.
You can't
Heard
say
you got the thing.
You can't say the thing. You can't say that. No. That won't qualify because people will look at you and go, what thing? What are you talking about? No.
Thing is pretty open.
So let's talk about this whole ransomware thing that I had to deal with this week.
Okay.
Now, we used to have some backups set up for them, some online backups, and they decided, well, we're going to save some money.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're not going to pay the $400 a year for the online backup and cloud synchronization. We're not going to pay for that. So fast forward to a couple of days ago, and it was also Wednesday, so it was a very...
Wednesday was not a good day.
Wednesday was a terrible day.
For anyone.
So anyway, they give me a call and they say, hey, we can't get in any of our stuff. Something's broken here. And I'm like, okay, log in, take a look. So log into their servers and workstations. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Where's all your data? Why has it all been renamed? Why is it not where it's supposed to be anymore? And I'm like, okay, well, let's check it. We'll go look for the local backups because I know that we're making local backups. And all the backups are encrypted also, gone. I'm like, this is no good. Go check out the shadow copies, right? Because that's secondary line of defense. Well, on this, they have two servers. And on one of the servers, the shadow copies exist, but it's old data. And on the other server, apparently this infection disables shadow copies also, like deletes them all.
It's hardcore.
So they really get you. It gets you pretty good. And so I, go around looking around, and I find a decryptor. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that Kaspersky makes a decryptor for this particular variant, but it only works on most of the files. So anything that's considered a database, let's say QuickBooks, gets encrypted differently. Different key.
Oh, fine.
Can't unlock it. And so their options are at this point, rebuild 4 months of QuickBooks data manually, or pay the ransom to get the QuickBooks data back. And so I email the guys, because they leave you a little note that says, would you like, if you'd like your data back, you can email us and we'll give you the details. And so I send them the details at india.com, thinking, man, maybe it's a government thing. And they email back, and they're like, that would be 4 Bitcoins if you would like your data back. And they give you a link to a place where you can go and buy Bitcoins. Do you know how much Bitcoins cost?
I'm not sure what it's at right now.
Well, on Wednesday, it was $728.
Oh, my gosh.
So, in other words, $3,000 to unlock the QuickBooks data file. And so I decided, well, let's negotiate. So I sent him back and I said, I'm willing to pay you 1 Bitcoin. And you can either take the money or not. It's either 1 Bitcoin or no Bitcoins. Your choice, because we'll rebuild. And they said, well, how about 2 Bitcoins? And I said, done. All right, cool. And so then comes the process of basically taking a client that has no Bitcoin experience at all.
Right.
And by the way, they gave me 24 hours to give them 2 Bitcoins. Otherwise, the price goes up, or and then we don't get the data. So it turns out that trying to find a way to get 2 Bitcoins in less than 24 hours is really difficult. There's places where you can exchange cash for Bitcoins, right? Where you can do this whole, you can either buy gift cards, or you can do an in-person cash exchange, or you can. What we opted to do was go to Western Union, and Western Union the money to somebody, and then they release the Bitcoins. And we found there's like a clearinghouse sort of, so an escrow account. Mm-hmm. So you can say, I'm willing to buy these Bitcoins, and then they take the Bitcoin from the individual and hold it in an escrow account. And then there's this checks and balances system where everybody has to say, yes, I've paid it. The other person has to say, yes, I've received the money. And then the Bitcoin manages to get transferred from one person to the other. And so I had to set up a bunch of different accounts, hang out for 2 hours at a Western Union waiting for people to go pick up money and approve everything. And it was such a learning experience as far as, wow, people actually do this. And I got some very interesting insight from a few of the people I talked to that I was trying to buy the Bitcoins from. And they're like, yeah, I do online gambling, and they pay me in Bitcoin if I win. And so the only way that I can actually turn that Bitcoin into anything is to sell them like this. And I kept having to remind myself that these Bitcoin vendors weren't the bad guys, right? Because they want you to have like a phone conversation with them, to kind of get a feel for who you are. And
they're lonely.
and every time that I'm about to answer the phone, I'm like, grumble, cursing under my breath because I have to deal with this entire set of circumstances. But they weren't the bad guys. It's cool.
So how did the conversation go with the customer? I'm just curious. From you to the customer. Well, here's the situation.
Well, it's pretty much like, so I'm offering you a choice here, right? Do you want to rebuild, or do you want to pay the ransom? And they're like, well, what's gonna cost less? And, well, I mean, you could not pay the ransom; it costs less money, but then you have the labor and such of having to rebuild, and it's probably easier just to pay the ransom at this point. And they agreed. We both sat down there at the Western Union because they had to provide the cash. So yeah, it was a very interesting process, and he right afterwards decided, hey, can we get those backups turned back on? Yep, absolutely, totally turn those back on for you, because it is a really painful process, and we paid the money, and asked, basically gave them the Bitcoins, and then I sent them an email. Bitcoins have been sent. Here's the address we sent it to. Please send me the decryptor. And because it's the middle of the night in India, everybody's sleeping. So basically there was this, 7 hours of, well, I hope they send it, right? Because there is no recourse. You can't get a refund. It's, that's the way Bitcoins work. It's one direction. There is no undo. There's no way to have any recourse whatsoever. And so we were just at the mercy of their word that they were going to send us the decryptor. And they did, which was nice. I mean, it's good that they sent it, and it worked.
Honest thieves or honest hackers.
Well, let's talk about the honesty level of this.
Yeah.
Anyone can drop $500, and you can get the same toolkit that these guys used. Branded for you, goes to whatever email address you like. The entire kit is $500. And see, these guys made $1,700
With one.
with one of these, right? It's a
Wow.
and you can just go buy these online. That's why ransomware encryptions are up so much, like 300% over last year.
Oh, sure.
As far as ransomware infections are concerned.
Well,
and because they're a new variant every time somebody buys one, it gets by antivirus.
Yeah.
And the amount of phishing emails with ransomware is at 97.25% in the third quarter, as opposed to 92% in the first quarter of 2016.
Yeah, they're definitely out there. And I get them. I see them in my email, right, where they show up and they're like, hey, someone needs you to sign this document. All right, and you click on the link and bam, ransomware.
But yeah, that's close. I mean, we're getting close to 100% of phishing emails containing ransomware.
And
You might as well just say, yeah, it has ransomware in it.
And for the most part, there's a lot of more and more people are falling for it, and it's partially because the phishing emails are getting better. They don't look as spammy as they used to.
The grammar's getting better. I will admit that.
Right? Yeah. Somebody is using the funds from their ransomware for better English classes. So they've managed to have more effective campaigns when it comes to infecting your computer. And you just think it's a $500 investment, right? And some of these guys, they may be getting that for a Bitcoin without any type of negotiations. And I'm sure that I'm not the only person, right, that paid last week to that particular dude, right? So, I mean, if these guys are making thousands of dollars a week, then yeah, it's a pretty decent investment. And that's their motivation for doing it. And as of right now, there's no way to stop them. The only way that you can keep yourself safe is to have the ability to tell them to go screw themselves, right? Which is to have good backups that are not susceptible to these types of infections, and have decent antivirus on the server. I mean, that helps, but like I said, the variants on these things change so fast that you're not going to be able to rely on antivirus to keep you safe. It really requires a certain amount of vigilance on the part of you. Make sure you don't click on the wrong thing, and it's almost always email that you'll get these types of infections. So save yourself a couple of $1,000s. Pay for some decent backups, some decent antivirus.
Buy some envelopes and stamps.
You need a check? You want to make sure that everything's good at your place? Give me a call. I'll help you out. 304-8300. Get on the schedule. We'll be right back.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name's Mike, here to deal with your technology problems and treat you like a person in the process. Yeah. 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. Let's talk about Office Depot for a moment.
This is a new one.
/ Office Max, because aren't they the same company now?
I think so.
Anyway, the claim is directly against Office Depot. Is that an employee of the Office Depot went to a news place in Seattle and was just like, hey, people are being taken advantage of and they don't know it. So the news station decided that they were going to investigate. So they took 6 computers down to various Office Maxes or Office Depots, I'm sorry, and had them check them out. And 4 of them came back as having malware, and they needed a $200 service to get them unmalwared, so to speak.
Yes.
Problem is that all 6 of them are brand new, straight out of the box, never even been used. And yeah. So, and unfortunately, that I understand what they're talking about here, right? Because we hire people that used to work at things like Best Buy and stuff like that. And so we sort of understand how the back end of that works, which is they have a script that they're supposed to work with as far as a policy set, procedures on how to deal with the intake of machines. And invariably, it involves you put a disk in there that is programmed to do all of the checks automatically as to take any human error out of the equation. It's designed to check the machine, and then it tells the technician what's wrong with the computer and what to sell them.
Like an inventory, basically.
Sort of. Or it's a, it's basically the corporation's way of controlling what gets diagnosed.
Or the state of the
what
machine,
way.
basically.
Right. And it tells the technician what they should be telling the customer at this point and what needs to be done in order to proceed. And so I know that Best Buy Geek Squad uses a very similar software as far as that, it has a system that checks the machine and then diagnoses it and then tells the supposed technician what they should be telling the client or selling the client to get the problem solved. Now, the employees that were confronted on this, or the news station went in and said, "Hey, these are brand new machines," and they're like, "I'm sorry, I don't have a choice, right? I put this disk in, it tells me what to say." Now, Office Depot says that they're investigating this because this is not the way that this is supposed to be working, and they're going to be taking appropriate action, whatever that is, to resolve the problem. But this is nothing new, right? Part of the reason I started this company, right, was because of people basically ripping people off and will not stand for it. I get all bent out of shape when I hear about it. And it happens not just at the chain stores, but it happens at the smaller locations also, and it happens in companies that are similar to the size of mine. It's about the culture. What type of culture do you put in there? Now, Office Depot is being, the employees are sort of blaming the fact that they have these sort of sales goals and quotas posted on the break room for everyone to see, and it basically causes competition in order to sell the most of whatever, right? Virus removals or anything for that particular week. And every place that you're going to go to is going to have some type of requirements that say, in order to keep your job, right, you have to be able to pay for yourself. So, make sure that you are at least doing something. But I think that if you're incentivizing the diagnosis, then you're kind of going about it the wrong way. You're incentivizing people to diagnose incorrectly to bring in that cash at the cost, in this particular case, of the credibility of those technicians. And like at Computer Guru, right? Everybody has a certain quota that they have to hit, right? It's basically your paycheck costs this much money, right? So at least make sure that you're doing enough work to cover this particular thing for the week. We don't have any competitions, right? There's definitely no competition for, how much money can you make this week or anything like that. The bigger thing is that your diagnosis and the fix has to be perfect, right? Instead of it being an incentive for charging, or selling more or virus removals, there is a penalty for misdiagnosis. And there's a penalty for a machine coming back because it was not properly resolved. And it happens, right? Sometimes you misdiagnose. It presents and it could have two problems, and you only catch one, or something along those lines. And so I think it's better that we deal with the if you don't diagnose it right, you're in trouble at the office, rather than if you don't diagnose enough or don't falsely sell enough, virus removals or whatever problems that you feel like making up that day. And also, there are things like lying to the customer is instant termination, right? That's how it works, right? There's only a couple of things that will get you fired at my place, which is you don't steal from me, and you don't lie to the customer, ever. Or do you? Well, I mean, I don't know.
He's like, well,
I hope they don't lie to me.
Well,
they better not.
I mean,
but lying to the customer will
sure
absolutely get you on unemployment.
What a concept, huh?
Yeah. So
incentivize employment. That's
right,
what
so
you're doing.
What we try to incentivize is honesty and integrity, and that's really what it comes down to. Let's talk to Dave. Hey, Dave, how are you? Dave's not there anymore. Dave's on hold. Dave's red. Make Dave another color. There we go. Hello, Dave.
Hello there.
How can I help you?
I'm trying to find out how smart TVs are these days. My problem is magazines and newspapers are going out of print, but they're digital. They're available digitally, and I'd like to see them on a big screen TV. And I know that some smart TVs can get certain apps, but I'm wondering whether I can just go on the internet from a great big TV and go to wallstreetjournal.com or something like that and be able to read the newspaper, if I can have a digital subscription to a newspaper and then read it on a big screen TV. Is that feasible these days?
Yes, sort of. What kind of computer do you have?
I've got a 7 or 8 year old big screen TV, but we're going into the season where TVs are dirt cheap,
right?
And some are dirt cheaper than others. And
dirtier,
I'm wondering,
cheaper.
What feature would I look for to find one that'll do what I want to do?
So here's you got to answer a couple of prerequisite questions here. What kind of computer do you have?
Apple iMac.
Excellent. This makes me happy in this particular case.
Oh, okay.
Because you know that on your Apple, there's a whole bunch of like the newsstand that's on there, where you can subscribe to things like Wall Street Journal and all of that.
I really haven't done that before.
There is. If your Mac is up to date, you have the newsstand on your desktop somewhere in your applications. And it allows you to subscribe to various news organizations like Wall Street Journal and several others, many others. And if you happen to get yourself if you have a nice TV, that's great. But if you really want a fancy sort of experience here, you get yourself one of the new Apple TVs, which is a box that connects to your TV. You can get yourself a nicer TV while they're on sale. And you can then basically stream that news app from your app to your television. And you can use that.
And is the picture quality good enough to be able to read a newspaper that's bigger than an actual newspaper?
Not, on your old one, probably not. On your old TV.
Yeah. The resolution, I guess, is what I'm...
But on the new ones, yeah. I was down at Costco the other day, saw 4K TVs on sale for $1,100.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was seeing. Do all brands have the ability to stream that Apple TV box?
anything with an HDMI port, yes. So yeah, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, everything,
Wow.
anything that, because it's an add-on, right? It's a special box designed specifically to do the smart functions. Now, the TV itself may have smart functions built into it, but for uniformity's sake and to make it easy to use, considering the other computer in your house, the Apple TV is probably a good way to go.
Okay. Well, then that clears up something, because I had the same experience yesterday. Went to Costco, and they had 50-some-inch TVs from $500 up to a couple of thousand. Of course, those were even bigger, but the prices are certainly coming down. And according to the guy in the Costco store, he says, just wait.
Yeah.
They're going to get better before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they will, and especially on the 4K models. Now, what the 4K models are, in case for anybody doesn't know, is it's effectively your TV with 4 times the resolution that it has now. Right? So it is much, much nicer. We're talking like movie screen quality resolution.
Are they supplying media for that level?
Yeah, there are some of the Blu-rays that are out there are 4K compatible. There's not a ton yet for 4K, but even Netflix is streaming like 4K video now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the 4K stuff is out there. The new Apple TVs support 4K, which is nice. The current generation. If you get an older one, you won't support that. But yeah, that's probably the way to go for you.
Now, if I have a subscription for one of these things, and I do for USA Today and some others, but do I have to pay Apple an extra fee if I have an Apple TV box?
In some cases, yes, but most of the time you can just sign in with your existing account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, there may be a new TV and an Apple box in my future.
Well, excellent. You know, you can feel free to donate your old one so that we can give it away.
Well, who knows? These days, the places that you used to be able to take for donations, these big old monster TVs and projection TVs and all that, anymore, they don't want them. So
yeah, they're kind of a pain in the butt sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the call, Dave. I appreciate
okay. Well,
it.
thanks so much. I appreciate you, and I like your show. Thanks.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back from the break, more of your questions at 790-2040. We'll be right back.
Love like eyes won't never grow. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm a little lover boy.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. Tara's mad at me now. Let's go ahead and take a call here while we still have time. Let's talk to Joe. Hello, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing good, Mike. How are you?
Not bad. What can I do for you?
All right. Well, my wife, or I uploaded the latest, it was a big update from Windows 10.
Right? Anniversary update?
Yeah. You know, whatever it was big. My PC did fine on it, but my wife has a laptop. It's a Toshiba Satellite.
Mm-hmm.
We bought it in 2009, but I've replaced, put in a solid state just in the past year and stuff. So that's doing good. The problem is, since that update, when I click on the power button, it will bring up the options for the power, but then it'll just go away. The option won't stay up. I have to hit Control-Alt-Delete and then go to that power option to shut it down. And the same thing with the notification window. When I click it, it comes up and then instantly goes away.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, so the anniversary update on most machines did okay. And there are on some machines, including my own, where the anniversary update broke everything. It was really unpleasant. So
don't feel special is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying you need to refresh it. You can feel special all you want, but
shucks.
but you're gonna end up having to refresh that PC. So there's actually a setting in there called Refresh This PC, and it basically reinstalls Windows on top of itself.
Okay, how do I do that?
Click on Start and then type Refresh.
Start. Okay. Well, when I click the Start or the Windows button down there, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just start typing. Refresh.
Okay. Nothing comes up.
Uh-oh. Well,
There's no window that says search or anything. The little round thing says ask me anything. That's Cortana, right?
Yeah, that's Cortana. So and it's not going to give you a place to type. So you just click on Start and start typing.
Okay, I just get it dings on me.
Dings on you. Okay. Yeah. So you can go to the control panel and you can find it in there. You can search for it in the control panel. And Microsoft doesn't make it terribly easy to get to. But it's an option where you can go in there and basically reinstall Windows. Now, here's some things to keep in mind. You should have a backup.
Right.
You have a backup?
Actually, I just backed it up this last weekend.
Okay. So
she hasn't done anything since then.
Good. So, yeah, you're going to have to go in there and run the refresh. And basically, the instructions to get there manually are pretty easily available if you just want to search for them. I don't want to make the show any more boring when I only have 2 minutes left. So basically, you need to run the refresh to reinstall Windows on that machine.
Okay. All right. Well, I typed in refresh on the control panel and nothing comes up.
Well, that's no good.
So where would I find that?
I will. How about this? Send me an email, radio@azcomputerguru.com. I will send you a link to the instructions. What do you think of that?
Okay. I will do that on my PC.
That'll be perfect. And I'll help you out with that.
All right. Radio
@azcomputerguru.com. And I've had to do this on 2 of my computers because of the anniversary update. 2 of them were fine. The other 2, not so much. And we don't see too many problems that come into the shop because of that update, but we know they exist, and the only real way to fix them easily and cheaply is to just do the refresh.
Okay, radio@azguru.com.
Radio@azcomputerguru.com.
I forgot the computer.
Don't forget the computer. It's kind of the important part here. It's what you're calling about, really. So
radio@azcomputerguru.
There you go. So anyway, thanks for the call, Joe. I gotta wrap up for the hour here.
All right, thanks, Mike. I'll shoot this off to you real quick.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
So yeah, the refresh thing we've had to do on a bunch of machines just because sometimes that anniversary update, no good.
No bueno.
No bueno. No me gusta. No want the update. You kind of need it though. So get the anniversary update if you haven't already. Anyway, thanks to Perfection Auto Works for sponsoring the first hour of the show here. We very much appreciate them. They do great work, and you should visit them. Go to their website, perfectionautoworks.com. You can support us on Patreon if you like. Go to patreon.com/gurushow or go to gurushow.com/Patreon. And you can sponsor us too, just like
Desert Pro Commercial Cleaning LLC, the best Tucson janitorial services. You can find them at TucsonDesertPro.com.
They are wonderful people. They also help keep the show on the air, and we appreciate them. Stick around for the second hour of the Computer Guru Show coming up next.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Computer running slow?
I'm waiting.
Caught a virus?
Wait.
Does does your computer seem to have a life of its own?
Malfunction. Need input.
The computer guru is here.
Thank God you're here!
Call in now.
Now it's Mike Swanson, your computer guru.
Hello and welcome back to the Computer Guru Show, 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. My name's Mike and I'm here to deal with your technology issues, one at a time, of course, and treat you like a person in the process. We're just laughing about the previous commercial where it was talking about it says kids ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
And the sad part was the immediate reaction is kids don't know how to answer to things because they're dumb.
You're bad. You're bad.
No. You should take the time to answer your kids' questions.
It's true.
Make sure that they're not. Make sure you don't have dumb kids. Just answer their questions properly.
Give them as many answers as appropriate.
Right. And don't let them use Facebook News to be the source of their intelligence.
No.
Because it's not news.
No.
It's not real.
No.
In many cases, it's fake. Most often, actually.
Once in a while, I'll put up something from either The Onion or News Thump or something like that just to see the reactions.
Right.
And see if anyone realizes this is obviously fake. Nope.
Well, and everyone seems to they share based on the headline, not on the content of the article. And so you could put any headline you want on there with any content, and they don't even have to be related. And people will be like, "See, this is proof of whatever conspiracy theory I believe in, and I'm out of tinfoil for hats."
Facebook. Just a bunch of sheep, man.
And Facebook's not alone.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. They're not the only ones. But it turns out that 40% of people get their news from Facebook. I mean, that's their only source of news.
Yeah.
And we wonder why elections go the way they do.
Exactly.
Right. There's a certain amount of, you are uninformed. You are not very literate when it comes to, the world around you because you're relying on Facebook.
Well, Kent said it. People are sheeple.
They are sheeple.
There you go.
Wow.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Do that again. That is incredible, Mike.
I have
you got nothing. You got nothing, do you?
I've got skills. Okay.
Man, marketable ones too.
Just leaving that alone.
You should record that. We can use that somewhere.
There you go.
You did record it then.
We just recorded it right now.
Twice.
Well, never mind.
All right, 790-2040. Please
save us from ourselves.
Animal noises.
Have you got an iPhone 6?
No.
Or 6 Plus, more specifically?
No.
Well, apparently the 6s and 6 Pluses are susceptible to something that is being referred to as the touch disease, where basically if the device has suffered any blunt trauma, it's been dropped a couple of times, even with its case on, where it doesn't damage the phone externally, it can make it so that you have all kinds of multi-touch problems. Or when you touch it, it's no longer calibrated. There's all kinds of problems. Or it can just lock up when you touch the screen. Motherboard.com reported about this, and they basically called it a defect. And they were saying, hey, this is a defect of the product, and quite possibly the most significant product defect that any Apple device, or any Apple iPhone anyway, has suffered. And Apple says, you know what it is? User error, and we'll happily charge you money to fix it. Because, Apple.
Yep.
As an example, like when they did when they had the antenna gate, right, where they had built the antenna into the side of the iPhone 4? I think it was the 4.
I don't know.
Where the way that they designed the antenna made it so that if you were holding the phone, like you would if you were talking on it, you got no reception and it would drop the call. And Apple's response was, hold it differently.
Get a stick and a rubber band.
Would you just set it on the table and shout at it? Just don't hold it. And then they offered, after some customer pushback, they offered these fancy rubber bands, basically, you could put around your phone to prevent the said defect of design. So Apple's response is, as usual, you're doing it wrong. And
You're not doing it the Apple way.
right, not just think differently. Oh, different. Sorry, I didn't mean to inject any proper English into that. Don't only think different, hold different. That's the way it works.
Yep.
And in this case, touch different.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Anyway, it turns out that there's a class action lawsuit that's been filed against Apple in regards to this because, well, it is sort of a product defect. Admittedly, people shouldn't be dropping their phones, but it happens, and it should be able to survive that, especially if you're getting the Apple recommended case for your phone. Hey, people put more time and care into making sure that they don't drop their iPhone than they do, as far as like strapping themselves into a vehicle when driving down the road. It's like you see these people driving around with no seatbelt on, texting on their iPhone, which has a $100 case on it to keep the phone safe. Morons.
Well, they're prerogative, so.
I guess
So what do you think is worse, the iPhone 6 issue or the iPhone 7 on Verizon issue?
Oh, tell me about the iPhone 7 on Verizon issue.
So Apple is being accused of throttling the iPhone 7 performance on Verizon so that it matches the speeds on AT&T.
What?
So they're making their phone worse for Verizon customers so that they're equal to the AT&T customers so they won't know the difference.
What kind of... What? Why?
In an effort to offer a uniform experience on the iPhone 7 regardless of carrier.
No. See, this is going to get me on a rant about, equality of outcome instead of equality of opportunity.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say it, man. It's so dumb.
What, do I say that too much? Is that what you're trying to say?
You haven't said it in a long time, so I'm just trying to,
That is dumb. It's really dumb. Why? AT&T is terrible.
Have they lost their mind?
No.
Well, and if you have an iPhone 7 with Verizon,
by the way,
your phone is terrible too.
By the way, that's my opinion, that
Yes.
AT&T is terrible. It's not necessarily reflective of the radio station or Computer Guru as a whole.
Well, obviously, if they're having to throttle the performance, then it's the truth.
Oh, man. No. Don't do that. Fine. You know what? Fine. Take your iPhone and I don't like iPhones to begin with. They're okay as far as devices are concerned, and they're super easy to use. Sure, fine. But I think that there's way too much sort of politics involved when it comes to iPhones. Right? They try to dictate to the carriers about how everything should run. They are the reason that I had that big argument with Verizon last year because of adding my iPad to it. Screwed up my data plan in some just phenomenal way. And it took 3 months of arguing and shaming Verizon on Twitter for them to give me my plan back and refund me the $1,500 it was that they charged me in overages. Yeah, stop it, Apple.
Your left eye is twitching.
I know. It's just...
Yeah, I guess this company called Twin Prime did some tests. And they found that the Verizon iPhone 7 offers slightly faster LTE speeds than AT&T. But the same Qualcomm X12 chip is found in the Samsung Galaxy S7, and its network speeds on Verizon are about twice as fast as that of the iPhone 7.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because there's no way that the AT&T LTE stuff is anywhere near the speed it is on Verizon. So I do a speed test on my phone. And I'm on the Verizon network for my phone because somebody asked me, they're like, I have they had Sprint, I think, LTE, and they're like, yeah, I just finally got my first 4G phone, and I did a speed test on it, and they were pulling like 7 megabits a second.
Yeah, it's not fun.
And so I pulled out and ran the speed test at mine, and it's 70 megs per second. And it's like, come on now, it's like, there's no way that they would have similar speeds on different networks like that, especially here. Now, in other places, sure, right? But it's really hard to compete with the Verizon network when it comes to speed and reliability. I don't even like Verizon, right? and I'm saying nice things, but look what you're making me do. You're making me defend Verizon here.
Isn't this what Rob says he hates doing like every week?
Yeah. No, it's just, no. Why would you do that? I can't even. Let's get a break. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna. I have to recover from this. Throttling your phone to be the same as some crappy carrier. Stupid. We'll be right back.
You show us everything you've got. You keep on dancing and the rhythm gets hot. You drive us wild, we'll drive you crazy.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice.
I'm nerdy in the extreme and whiter than sour cream. I was in AV club and glee club and even the chess team. Only question I ever thought was hard, what do I like, Kirk or do I like Picard? Spend every weekend at the Renaissance Fair, got my name on my underwear. They see me strolling.
So Robert Stevens he's kind of a network guy, and he decided that he was going to work on just kind of follow up with everybody's been talking about. We talked about the Internet of Things and devices that get plugged into it, and so he went online and bought effectively a $12 webcam that plugs into the internet. And he's like, I'm going to check it out. So he had some packet sniffing set up. The device was rate limited, walled off from the rest of his network. Plugged it in and decided he would go through and try to configure it. 98 seconds later, the device has already had malware on it and was basically hacked. Before most people would even have the chance to go in there and change the default password, it was immediately hacked. 98 secones.
Gotta be quick. Gotta be quicker than that.
Gotta be faster than that.
Is that those little robots that you were talking about?
Well, it's the part of it's part of the whole zombie scanning process, right? Where the botnet is looking for devices that are going to be susceptible to these types of hacks. 98 seconds. So, yeah, you got to be careful, right? If you're going to set these things up, set them up, first of all, like where they're not connected to the internet, right? Set them up on the local network first. Don't give them any port forwarding so they can be hacked, and then change the password, update the firmware, and then you can start thinking about deploying them. Here's the other thing. Don't buy $12 cameras, all right? As far as, because it's a specific set of cameras, or the people who make the chips that are in multiple types of cameras that are super susceptible, right? They're the ones that have terrible, terrible security on them and the same default password across the board. Stop buying $12 cameras. You get what you pay for. That's how this works. You want a nice internet-enabled camera? You go get a nice one, or one that runs on its own network. It's just anyway. 98 seconds. I thought that was impressive. Nice and quick.
Very quick. It's efficient.
Yeah,
efficiently hacked.
We'll just say that look how quickly you can get things done with this camera. Really, it's we should be giving it 5 stars over there on the Amazon or whatever, wherever they got it from.
On the Amazon.
The Amazon.
Pull it up on the Google.
That's Google's. The Googles.
Okay.
Don't you try to make that a singular thing. The Googles is plural,
Gotcha.
always.
Yes, all of the Googles.
All of the Googles, all of the time. Okay, so what was that Black Friday deal you were talking about?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was a 49-inch 4K TV.
Mm-hmm. Toshiba. So not even an off-brand.
How much was it?
$200.
$199.
Mm-hmm. With built-in Chromecast.
That's going to get somebody killed. That's what's
Now, what
happen.
I'm thinking, because
Trampoline.
I'm thinking it's one of those where there's one or maybe two in the store, and so you're murdering people to get to it first because there's only one or two.
Yep, that's
and
a
that's
trampoline.
how they're able to draw you in, and then obviously once it's gone, it's gone. But since you're there anyway, here's this $1,000 TV.
You could just wait in the parking lot.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. I am not encouraging or condoning anyone to mug anybody in the parking lot
please don't.
of Best Buy. But, it just seems to me that's an awful lot of effort, right, to nearly be killed or be camped out in front of Best Buy the night before because you know that somebody's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
There's somebody probably in an RV at Best Buy right now, probably.
I want it. but I'm not going to go camp out for it. That's for sure.
That's that. Anyway, yeah, if you...
There's some really good deals. There's a Samsung 55-inch smart 4K for $479. Save $320. I mean, there's a lot of deals to be had on Black Friday if you're willing to go to Best Buy. That's their deals.
I was just talking to a client the other day. He's got 7 monitors hooked up to this one machine. Right? He does a bunch of trading and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so he's got screens all over the place. And we just changed out the machine, and it's always such a pain in the butt to get all the monitors to work the way that you need them to.
Yes.
And it takes, multiple video cards, and in some cases you have to have 2 different brands of video cards to be able to pull it off. And in this particular machine, there's 3 video cards in it to run all the different monitors and different resolutions and all of that. And I'm like, you know what? You just need to get yourself a couple of really nice 4K monitors and a couple of very nice video cards. Because instead of 7, independent monitors, you could just have 2 40-inch 4K TVs, set them up so that they're portrait instead of landscape, and divide the screen up. And you can put just as much information on there. And it's better than having just... Oh man, it's a disaster whenever one of the monitors doesn't work properly, or like they had a loose cable on one of them and it would keep rearranging all the screens, and it was just like, just go get yourself a couple of 4K monitors now. They're out there. They're not terribly expensive. I mean, they cost less than or about the same as buying 7 other monitors. Mm-hmm. So, might as well get yourself in the get current, man. Be current.
And if you're not willing to go to Best Buy, Amazon's having some pretty good deals too.
Okay.
So on their products, they've cut the prices. So on the Echo Dot, the Kindle Fire, and all of that kind of stuff, they've $10 to $20 off each of those. So not terrible, but not great. But then they have some TV deals and stuff, and they've kept it pretty broad with the press. They haven't given any specifics, but like a 43-inch 4K Ultra HD Smart TV, $199.
And nobody gets killed.
Right, because it's online. 55-inch LG 4K Smart TV, $398.
So go to Amazon.
Yeah, so Amazon might be your way to go if you don't want to get killed.
Or
Right. I'm just saying.
At least not by shoppers.
Yeah, no. What a terrible way to go.
It would be.
That would be so... I wonder what you would put on your tombstone for that.
I don't think you're putting anything on your tombstone. Maybe somebody else will. I don't think you're doing anything.
Yeah.
You
Trampled at Best Buy.
That's right.
Oh,
2016.
Oh,
yeah, I'll just stay home and shop. Or not.
Or
I don't even like shopping.
Or Cyber Monday.
Yep, Cyber Monday's coming up too.
All right, so Cyber Monday is the digital equivalent of Black Friday. And Amazon will be participating in that for sure. Newegg will. I know that much. Newegg is a great place to buy parts if you want to go out and buy some computer parts and do it yourself type deal. Mm-hmm. And let's see some of the others that would be participating in that. I know that SWS locally is participating in the Black Friday / Cyber Monday deal.
Well, that's cool.
So there are some options there. We're doing it with our 40% off if you mentioned the Thanksgiving sale for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yep, starting Monday for 2 Mondays.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
But you have to mention the sale. If you don't mention it, then you don't get the savings. I get to charge you full price.
That's how it works.
Can I charge you extra if you don't mention the sale?
You could try.
Maybe.
I don't think I'm allowed
No,
to
I
do
don't
that.
think that's right.
I don't think I'm allowed to do that.
That's all right.
But if you mention the sale, you get some discounts.
You can actually find better deals on Cyber Monday sometimes too.
Yeah.
People go Black Friday and they're like, yeah, and then they find the same thing 58% cheaper online later.
Right. And that's after they're nursing their wounds and checking out their mugshot that they got for, assaulting someone in a Walmart.
Yeah.
And they could have just waited till Monday and bought it online. Got it cheaper even.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, Amazon, do you know of any data behind like algorithms or anything that Amazon might use as far as pricing? In other words...
Oh, no. Yeah, no. Why?
Well, it just so happens I bought a couple things on Amazon, and, not a great deal of money. A couple of LED under cabinet LEDs for $76, and then I don't even receive them yet. And I click on the little link, and both of them are like $15 cheaper.
Just tell them.
Yeah.
I did.
Man, they'll usually give you the difference.
And they said no.
Well, send them back and then buy them again.
I know. And I said, really? So anyway, I was just wondering.
See, Amazon has a great return policy, right?
Yep.
You just say, hey, I'm sending these back. By the way, send me 2 more at the new price.
Yeah, well, I guess I could do that.
And, yeah, or call it back and just talk to somebody else at Amazon, because you can be like, listen, I can return these and get all my money back and then buy the other ones, and you guys have to pay shipping again, or you can just give me the difference.
Something about the seller, this particular seller, they couldn't credit or blah, 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 blah. So anyway, it was an email transaction. I was
Send them back.
Yeah.
Just return
them.
Get rid of the things.
All of the things, send them back. You don't need them. All right, let's take a break. Let's do that. Start some music, Ken.
Bottom of the hour.
Do your thing, man.
Boom.
It's 12:30. It's time to. That's 30 minutes after I'm supposed to say in radio jargon, because who knows what time it is. This is the Computer Guru Show. We'll be right back.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice.
Man, Rob's going to be so mad that we're going to talk about this, and he's not here.
Well,
So we've a few times now talked about the EM drive, and it was one of the things where Rob first took a really hard stand on, and he's like, "This will not work." And I agree with him, because we understand how physics works.
Mm-hmm.
The third law says you got to have an equal and opposite reaction.
Right.
That's just how things work. That is the nature of the universe. We thought.
Except when it's not.
Because the EM drive, now independently reviewed, has they've published the peer-reviewed paper, and it works. It turns out that they don't know why still exactly, but they can't make it not work, is basically what it comes down to. They've tried to take into account all of the potential error sources, and it basically they're saying that it's efficient enough that if scaled up, placed onto a ship, and it can basically power a mission to Mars in 70 days.
That is so fast.
That is ridiculously fast. And it's super efficient.
Didn't it take us like 3 years to send the rovers over there? I can't remember how long it was.
It took a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's after slingshotting around to, like the sun
Yeah.
to try to get there. It's super efficient. Wouldn't require, giant amounts of fuel to be held on there. It would just some microwaves emitting somehow thrust.
Quantum mechanics, man.
Yeah, they're
way above my pay grade.
Nobody understands it, I don't think, as far as why it exactly works, because it's going to cause some ripples when it comes to like Newtonian physics and how to deal with the way that we understand physics to a certain extent. I think it's cool, and it's generating, let's see, 1.2 millinewtons of force, right? And that's not much, right? So, well, let's put it in comparison. The Hall thrusters, the giant things that launch rockets in space, that's 60 millinewtons per kilowatt, and so that's a lot more.
Yeah.
It's got some go, but you think 1.2 millinewtons per kilowatt. All you have to generate in this case is electricity, You don't have to generate this reaction, this chemical reaction to generate this type of thrust. And you could do that, like right now when they go into space, they launch it up there and they use all the fuel they can to get to the right speed, then possibly run around some planets or stars in order to, or an R star, to get up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe jump into some gravity wells to sort of help that along, but they're out of fuel as soon as they leave Earth.
Yeah.
And with this particular type of thruster, you could remain fueled and thrusting the entire time. And that's why you could get to Mars in 70 days instead of years. Because they're talking like multi-year, or near decade-long flights to get to Mars to get it colonized. And if you can do it in a couple of months, that's pretty good.
It's more doable.
And that's just based off of the prototype that was built. I mean, what if they build a larger one that has more thrust? I mean, you could see things like near speed of light travel if they push it hard enough.
I want to see Jetsons travel. That's what I want to see. Like, everybody has a Jetsons car. We all live in the clouds.
Can you imagine how noisy that would be? And those Jetson cars were not, they weren't quiet.
Pew, 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 pew. Yeah.
I was waiting for the noise. See if you could do that.
All right, let's talk to Jeff. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Well, I'll use the guru quote of lovely today.
Excellent.
I find my kids, when they ask me, how you doing, Dad, I tend to answer lovely from time to time.
It's good to know that I'm making an impact on the vernacular of the listeners.
Well, how about a T-shirt that says "Be Lovely" today with the Guru logo on it? It's a new marketing idea for you.
There you go, Tara. Get on it.
Okay.
What can I do for you, Jeff?
I got a Windows 10 question. I want Windows 10 to act somewhat like my Android phone, where it has a nice clipboard. It saves the last 10 items. I have some phrases that I use frequently, or sentences, I guess, and I want to be able to access that. I can't find a way to do it within Windows 10. There are some apps. I'm not sure if they're safe or work, or how would I go about getting that to happen on Windows 10?
There's actually a piece of software that I use to do exactly that, where I type these things all the time. And so I've managed to just create little shortcuts where I'll type like star, sh, star, and then hit space, and it replaces it with a paragraph of text.
So a keyboard shortcut, not a clipboard.
Right. So I'm using something that translates what I type into expanded information. And so it's effectively like a keyboard replacement for, like you would have on your phone. Like on Apple phones, you can put bunches of different words into the dictionary, and when you type that phrase, it automatically replaces it with something else. And that's the kind of software that I use for that. Now, there's all kinds of different types of like multi-clipboard applications that you can get out there. I didn't like any of them. That's why I went with this particular solution, where I could program it to be, all I have to do is know what my shortcut is, type that shortcut, and something spits out. And you can even program it to do sort of very complex things, like to have interchangeable variables within that thing that it is typing out. So it's kind of a cool system. Here's the bad news, is that I reinstalled my laptop like 3 days ago, and I don't know the name of the software off the top of my head. And I was going to look it up. I was going to be like, just point at the little icon and have it show me its name, and I can't remember. So it'll have to be something that I either get back to you on, or you can send me an email and I can respond to you with it.
Sounds good. It sounds like a lot of memory involved with that, though. I have keyboard shortcuts like that on my Samsung, and if you type the first three letters of something, I can make it do a phrase. First of all, would there be enough characters? Do they allow unlimited characters for that Windows 10 one? And how do you remember all those if you have several?
One, I have a crazy memory, and but you can. I'm sure you can develop some type of a shortcut to remember these things. And in my case, I use a portion of what I would be saying in the first place as my shortcut. So I just put the asterisk on the front of it, or on the end of it, or some other character to make sure that I don't accidentally type it when I don't need to. So that's just me being paranoid about accidentally typing it. So I make the phrases that I use a little bit harder to accidentally type. And Rob says, because he's in the chat, the software may be Text Expander. It could be. It sounds somewhat familiar. I played around with like a dozen of them before I settled on one. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, though. But I do have it on my machine at home, and as soon as I get home, I can look it up. So send me an email to radio@azcomputerguru.com, and I'll tell you what it is.
Gotcha. Thanks for your time, Mike.
No problem. Thanks for the call. Yeah, it's super helpful. Yeah, and part of it was because one of the things that I wanted to respond with in the chats at the office was something that was very hard to type because of special characters and stuff like that. I got tired of trying to do the whole cut and paste bit, so I just made it so I could type a couple of characters and it would automatically replace that with this otherwise complex phrase.
Nice.
And so it's a cool software, and it doesn't seem to take up much memory. It runs pretty well. I've had a couple of instances where it basically told me it needed to reboot the computer. It updates quite often, though, so it seems like they're always working on it. It works pretty well. I like it.
See, I need to download useful tools like that. I don't download anything useful. I just download fun.
That's because you have kids.
No, it's for me. It's not for the kids.
It's because you are a kid.
Yeah.
There you go. So Text Expander may be, though. I'm not sure if that's exactly the one. As soon as I see the icon for it, I'll be like, that's the one. But I have it at home, and I'll check it out and respond to you, and we can mention it next week if anybody else is interested. Put it in the show notes or something. We'll do something with it. Apparently we need to make T-shirts now, though.
You definitely should. That would be cool. We could put it for Patreon.
We could make it a Patreon goal. You get a T-shirt. How are you? Lovely.
There you go.
The guru affected my speech patterns.
I don't think we'd put that on a shirt.
You got to have an eye twitching, right?
Somebody did specifically ask for a Mike eye twitch GIF, or GIF.
Don't you dare say GIF in here.
I'm just saying.
Get out.
I say GIF, but at work everybody says GIF.
They are retarded at your office. That's all I'm going to go ahead and say.
Wow. Okay.
We could have a whole line of T-shirts. It's so dumb. Right?
Have you lost your mind?
Have you lost your mind?
Okay, so I'm gonna take a breath and relax from the whole GIF comment.
Zen.
Can't have this. Can't have this. Can't have this at all. This is unacceptable.
Well, notice it wasn't my first response. I corrected to that. It's all good. We're good. Just breathe. Just breathe. Let it all out. It's all good.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm better now.
Okay.
Yeah. Eyes no longer twitching. It's all good. GIF.
It's a good peanut butter.
Grr. Hey, you know what time it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We'll be right back.
Living like a lover with a red iPhone. Looking like a tramp, like a videogram. Demolition woman, can I be your man?
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show, 790-2040. If you want to be part of the show, that's 520-790-2040. Got like 6 minutes left if you want to ask a question here. Let's talk to Kevin. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Hey, Mike. Fine, thanks. Good afternoon, Tara. I figured you guys needed a cheap thrill. This is as cheap as it gets. Do you have a program for organizing photos that you take off your camera and just stick on your computer, and like you got piles of these things? You got any suggestions or anything, Mike, for organizing them?
Well, as a person who takes lots and lots of photos,
Yes, I know you do.
I mostly just use Windows.
Just Windows? Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as Lightroom,
Lightroom,
Photoshop Lightroom, which is amazing for doing like post touch-ups.
Okay.
And adjusting aperture and exposure and all that stuff.
How about for organizing photos? Like, where's the pictures of San Diego that we took 12 years ago or something like that? Do you have anything like that?
Just Windows, man. Because you can use the tagging feature in Windows to tag all of your photos with different keywords.
Gotcha,
and then you can search for, as an example, beach photos, and it'll find all of them. And you can add different keywords to make to refine the search.
Okay, one last thing you were talking to somebody about going to the Start button on Windows 10.
Correct.
How do you get to the Start? I know the lower left-hand. So there used to be a window you could type stuff in. Like if you were looking for something in
It'll still let you type there.
hand,
you actually don't. There's no place to type. There's no cursor sitting there. But as long as you click on Start, you can just start typing, and it'll search for anything you want.
So it's like the same as the window. It's not there anymore, though.
Right.
Okay. Thanks so much. Great show. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a good Turkey Day.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye.
So, did you get a blue phone recently? You didn't get a blue phone because you're jealous about my phone right now.
Yeah, just a bit. That's good.
Tara actually told me in the parking lot that she hates me because I got the phone that she wants.
I want it so bad, too. I have never wanted a piece of tech like I want the Google Pixel.
Did he let you hold it?
No.
I offered.
I didn't want to because I might steal it.
So anyway, blue. It's funny, as Rob and I were just talking about these last week. I actually saw a blue phone down at BLU, by the way, down at Best Buy. But it turns out that they have some partnered apps on there, and one of them was called ADUPS, ADUPS, and it's an application that's bundled into the phone when you buy it. And it turns out that it was sending all kinds of information to a server in China. And it turns out, first of all, there was red flags all over the place, and people were lighting their torches and sharpening their pitchforks. But it turned out that the ADUPS software, they were like, this is just it's a bug in the software. We're very sorry. We didn't use your data for anything. It never went anywhere. And Blue responded by a firmware update that fixes it and basically makes sure that your data is safe and you're not going anywhere. So put the torches out, dull those pitchforks up again. So it's still, these are these types of things, these oversights that do manage to make it into the world. These security vulnerabilities exist. And it's your job as a consumer to make sure that your devices are safe, right? That your data is safe. So you need to make sure that you're, of course, maintaining proper backups. You're taking a look at the firmware updates. You're making sure that you are doing all that you are responsible to do to make sure that your data is safe, and which unfortunately is a lot, right? There's lots of things you need to look into. Make sure you have your updates. Make sure that you consult with professionals on occasion to at least look at the vulnerabilities you might be missing or you might not be thinking about. And that's the kind of the stuff that we're here for, Computer Guru. We're here to help you out. We're here to make sure that you're safe. We want to make sure that you don't. Then we'll recommend what you need to be safe. Whether or not you do it, it's kind of on you. But we will tell you what you need. Let's see. We got a long wrap up today because we've got Thanksgiving stuff. Mm-hmm. We've got the Christmas giveaway stuff. Let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, that's about it. So let's go ahead and start with there is a sale that's going on over at Computer Guru. Starts Monday, and it goes for 2 weeks, which is 40% off of labor if you mention the sale. All you got to do is mention it. You got to say, I am mentioning the Thanksgiving sale, which will get you 40% off on labor. It's we don't do this very often, but every once in a while, this is your opportunity to save a little bit of money before the holidays. If you've got a machine that needs to be looked at, if you've got this sort of nagging little micro infection that you've been wanting to get rid of and just decided, well, I don't want to pay for that money. I don't want to pay for that right now. This is your opportunity to get it done for cheap by people who are very good at what they do. And, we'll make sure that you're good to go. You're safe. All you got to do is mention it. Now that applies to, just regular labor in the shop. Mm-hmm. So if you bring something in, you get 40% off. On-sites do not get the discount, just so you know. Just because.
And you have to mention the special, not the thing.
Yeah, you mention the thing, we're not going to know what you're talking about. The thing adds $50. How's that? You got to mention the special. All right. And the other thing is, this is about time for the Christmas the Christmas giveaway. Sean McCluskey just bought a horse into the studio.
So pretty though.
That is a really big dog.
Seriously, a very large dog.
Wow.
Is it a Dane?
Great Dane that is scaring your child.
Yeah, CJ's not real big into.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, derailed.
Where was I? It says the gigantic dog that's in the other room. The Christmas giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So every year we accept donations from you guys, from the listeners, from anyone that you know that wants to donate a computer to Computer Guru hopefully in reasonable shape. We don't want anything that's like, 1998. But if you've got a machine that is Windows 7, that came with Windows 7, or newer, and is not like a pile of ashes, right? It's a somewhat working machine. We will happily fix up that machine, give it whatever hardware it needs as far as upgrades are concerned, and then we will find someone to give it to who is needy. And we'll determine who that is based off of your suggestions as well. You'll have the opportunity to submit people that you know that you can make the case for them to, or you can submit for yourself. You can say, help, I need a computer and here's my story. Mm-hmm. And you can send those for right now to radio@azcomputerguru.com. We'll get something up on the website again where you can submit your nominations there, and you can also let us know what the donation you would like to bring in so that we can find a way to home that computer, a way to give it to somebody who absolutely needs it. It's time of year to be generous, and so that's what we're trying to do. We make sure that we take care of all the upgrade costs, all of the sort of overhead costs that are involved with fixing up the machine, finding somebody to give it to, giving it to them, and giving them even some training to make sure that they know how to use that machine. So please do your part to help out if you can. And if you can't, at least spread the word and let people know that this is something that we're doing. We do this every year, and generally is a success. Mm-hmm. We had one year where we had more computers than we had people nominated, and so we had to basically find a way to find people to give these to, mm-hmm. and that's really hard. So give us your nominations and machines, and we will happily make sure that somebody can make really good use of those machines. And it's nice to be nice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's nice to be nice. Also, not only are we doing the sale down at Computer Guru for the next 2 weeks, we should probably take a moment to let you know some of the things that we do. We build websites. We do office and corporate networks. We manage your IT department if you happen to have one, or we can replace it if you decide that you don't want to pay those guys anymore. I mean, I'm not for
it's an option.
I don't want to take anybody's job away, but at the same time, I can save you a bunch of money as far as what you pay versus an in-house IT person or in-house IT department. That's kind of what we're here for. Mm-hmm. It's what we do. Not only do we do that, but we do all of the regular residential stuff. So you can bring your computer into us. We'll happily take care of your virus removals or any other hardware and software upgrades that you may need. We do training where you can come in and get one-on-one tutoring on any type of subject. You can say, I had one last week. It was like, I just want you to show me how to put pictures on eBay. Okay, come on down. I'll show you how to do it. And we'll basically practice until you know it by heart, until it becomes reflex for you. You know how to do it. And we try to give you a better understanding of how things work as you're doing it. And we'll offer suggestions if we see you doing something that maybe you shouldn't be doing.
Yep.
Or, like, don't click on the big green button for downloading stuff.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't just download things.
Don't be all willy-nilly. You'll end up with the crypto locker and then having to pay some bitcoins and $1,700 worth of cash at a Western Union and a story to tell.
There you go.
I mean, at least you got a story. Right?
If you really want a story, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. I'm down with stories.
Yeah.
We can dig it. Thanks for listening to the Computer Guru Show this week. I very much appreciate your listenership and your opportunity to help us out on Patreon. Please go to gurushow.com/Patreon. Give us a hand here. We could really appreciate it. We'll see you next week right here on the Computer Guru Show. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Guru Show. If you did, please consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. Your subscription helps us reach new audiences and expand the show in new directions. Please also consider supporting us on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help the Computer Guru Show expand into a longer format, as well as support the production of new content for this channel. Links are in the description below, and thank you again. We'll see you next week.